So I came across this video where it said that luxury homes are being built all across the US. Now, my question is, in this economy, at the time of this recording, who's buying all of these luxury homes? Is it you? If it's you, shout out to you. I'm very proud of you for being able to do so. But we're gonna go over this video, see what they're talking about, and see if this thing is even a good idea, if people are buying it, or they're just doing it and wasting their time and energy and money. Let's get into it.
The US is in a rental housing crisis.
So we pay $3,060 per month. If I'm really honest, I don't think it's a very good value for money.
Homebuilders believe the sector is already in a recession, and experts are calling out laws that make building expensive.
40% of the cost of multifamily development is in regulation. We have to do something about that if we're going to build more housing.
Developers have a really hard job, and they regularly work magic.
In major cities like Washington, D.C., developers are working with limited space.
Most parts of this country have
So DC can be very costly to live in, from what I've heard. The salaries out there are pretty decent. But the thing is, if the housing cost is above the salary paid to handle it, then it still doesn't mean anything. If you're in the DMV area, let me know how the housing prices are in that area. It's very interesting to know.
exclusionary zoning. The only thing you can build there is single-family homes, often on pretty large lots.
But in the parts of town where big buildings are allowed,
You see a lot of cranes going up. Those cranes are going to build high-rise luxury apartments.
And in fact, this year we're going to see some of the largest number of apartments delivered in the luxury sector than in history, literally.
why are there so many new luxury apartments? And what could the government do to get more affordable housing onto the market?
Again, if this is happening across the US, who's buying it? Because not every bracket is gonna go out there and search for these type of homes. Well, let's keep watching.
When it comes to city real estate, the biggest luxury is location.
If you can just walk from your apartment into a metro station and head on about your day, that's pretty great.
Here's a look inside of one new development in the city.
Yeah, location is very important to some people. And some people are willing to pay that premium just because of the location. Now, if you think about it, they're saving on gas, they're saving on, time to get from point A to point B. So some people, they are willing to fork out whatever it is they have to fork out to have that work and play lifestyle in the same vicinity.
Right now, we are in the Ballpark District of Washington, D.C., one of the emerging neighborhoods that is downtown adjacent. And this neighborhood has gone through a tremendous transformation over the last 20 years as part of an overall plan to create an extraordinary place. This building was completed in 2020, and this is the Kelvin Apartments, which is 312 apartments over about 60,000 square feet of retail, adjacent to our sister building, which is the NV Condo, which is 127 condos.
This development is currently valued at roughly $230 million.
Transit-oriented development creates the best outcomes overall because of the proximity to jobs, the proximity to educational opportunities, but is also the most difficult. You're creating not only deep foundations for underground parking, you are often building over metro lines and transit lines. You're also taking care of the neighborhood in terms of its aesthetic.
Living in this
I wonder how profitable it is to build these things and to expect to just fill all those apartments with tenants. I wonder if they're losing money or making money. Somebody school me on those contracting type of gigs. Are they really losing money when they get into stuff like this? When you have to deal with the city and all of this stuff, especially in downtown areas? Let us know down in the comments.
lifestyle does cost a premium for the renter. 2-bedroom apartments in this building can rent for over $3,000. Single bedrooms can rent for over $2,000. Perhaps more surprisingly, those prices are technically affordable for 40% of the households in Washington, D.C. And this pattern where the top 40%
They get paid out there in DC. They get paid out there.
earners can afford housing while others struggle to find affordable housing can be found in cities across the U.S.
So you often see new housing branded as luxury, in part because it's new. I will say in my personal experience, I've seen pretty high quality, affordable, subsidized housing that could compete with any luxury housing. I've also seen pretty old, tired housing still branded as luxury that, wasn't the greatest housing out there.
Here's another building that was completed in 2009.
Luxury, it's definitely not, but maybe a little bit up standards, like a little bit.
The building has about 300 units and is worth over $129 million.
Appearances wise and from the outside, this flat looks amazing. It is amazing and there's so much light and the location and everything. But then when you actually live here, there's so many tiny things. In total, it's 30 maintenance requests in a year and 5 months. So it's quite a bit.
Days before this
30 maintenance requests. Wow, already. Now I'm getting why they're being profitable with this stuff. They're building this stuff cheap. They're doing something. They're doing something to cut costs. And I believe that's why they're continuing to do these type of projects, because it's cheap for them. They can build it, sell it, get paid from the tenants. They didn't use a whole lot of quality materials. They just built it really quick, getting the money, and they're turning a profit. That's how they're doing it. Very interesting. Let's continue.
interview, a malfunctioning dishwasher flooded parts of Carolyn's apartment. Building management brought in industrial fans to dry the space.
It's 75 decibels, I measured it. And it's quite tiring, like your head becomes like this.
Many other tenants have raised concerns with the build quality in this complex, citing thin walls and repeated issues with water and other infrastructure. In a statement to CNBC, the property manager of this building said that occasional maintenance requests will be resolved as quickly as possible.
Every home builder has a list of complaints. Every, landlord in a multifamily apartment, you can Google and find, complaints against literally any landlord out there. But I've been to a lot of these communities.
It's the number of complaints. The number. I don't believe any place is void of any complaints in some sort of capacity, small or big. But if it's the number of complaints that's continuing to go up and continue to be frequent, then that's an issue.
Those communities are beautiful, and they have all kinds of amenities like a swimming pool and a gym. And because these are large-scale communities, that means that the landlord has a large-scale service, usually on site.
Some of what's happening here is related to changes in the real estate business nationwide.
What we've seen in the last 10 to 15 years is that developers used to get capital, develop a property, and maybe sell it as condos or have it as rentals, and they would hold on to the property. But right now we're seeing real estate developers with a different model, where they're building a property then to quickly sell it off to a real estate investment trust. So it's sort of build to sell as opposed to build and hold. When you
Build to sell. Let me build this so I can get my money, I'm on to the next thing. Let me build it fast, get my money fast, move on to the next thing. Let me build it cheap, get a whole lot of profit, move on to the next thing. Got it. So, are you on the lookout for a luxury apartment? I don't mind luxury. I don't mind it. Just make sure you do your research, make sure you read the reviews, make sure it's done by a good contractor, and, just do your due diligence. I'm not saying don't buy a luxury apartment at all or be afraid of it because of their experience, but always be on the lookout for people who want to do right business and who want to see their customers happy. That's my suggestion. But let me know what you think. Make sure you like this video. Share this video with someone who could use this information, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.